Hi, we are Sales Tax and More. Today, we are talking about whether you should register if you hit a threshold 1 year but don't anticipate any more activity in that state, and all the sales are tax exempt per the state's laws. Likewise, we're going to discuss if it then makes sense to do this and then deregister. To answer these questions, you need to look at three things before deciding if you should register. Number one is, do you have the link or connection with the state that we call nexus that may require you to collect and remit taxes in that state? It's important to determine if you actually have nexus because a number of states only count taxable sales and exempt sales. Number two, for most states, their penalties and interest are based on the amount of tax owed, and if you don't have any taxable sales, they're all tax exempt. You're not going to have any penalty or interest. So even if the state says you should get registered, there's no teeth in that requirement by the state. Some states will charge you $50 for every missed return, but the majority of states' penalty and interest is going to be based upon the amount of tax owed. Number three is materiality. Just because the state says you should do something doesn't necessarily mean it makes good business sense. You need to use common sense. For example, about 40% of the states out there still have a 200 transaction threshold. Let's say you're selling 200 transactions and you're selling something at $5. When you cross the 200 transaction threshold, most states are going to say yes, you need to get registered and collect tax going forward. However, your total sales are about $1,000. And if that's what's going to continue going forward, the average tax rate is 8%. 8% on $1,000 is $80. So, does it make sense to jump through all of these hoops, especially in a state like Georgia, where if you register, you're going to be a monthly filer for at least the first 6 months? You now have to file a return every month or hire a specialist to do your registrations and file your returns, which is going to cost you more money. This is why many people wait until their sales become more material to register. However, if your exposure is material, it is important to get registered as soon as you can. Getting registered is an issue and a process, but often deregistering is tougher than getting registered. States are notorious for not doing what they say they're going to do, so you have to make sure you're deregistering correctly. For more information and other free resources, including webinars, blogs, and podcasts, or any questions, you can reach out to us at salestaxandmore.com.